Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Football Fignuts podcast. If you're keeping track at home, this should be episode number 192, which means it's our fourth season and 42nd episode. My name is Britt.
I'm Craig.
And Craig, we are back. We're doing 2 weeks in a row.
Yes.
We haven't been doing weekly quite so much lately, just because the news has been kind of slow and steady. We have the Aaron Rodgers saga. Julio's finally traded. Stuff's finally starting to go on. And more importantly, believe it or not, it's time to start getting ready for some of the early season aspects of it, which is what our main topic is going to be about today, which is Bestball. It is Bestball time, guys.
That's crazy talk.
I can't believe it, but it really is. If you want to do Bestball, now is the time to start doing it. So here we are, but let's start where we always start. Craig, what are you drinking tonight?
Tonight, I have a lovely can of beer from a place called Treehouse.
Oh.
This, excuse me, is Curiosity 102. It is a Treehouse double IPA. It is 8.3%.
I have not had this one. And if you've listened to our podcast before, or you know anything about beer in the New England area, Treehouse is a fantastic brewery in Massachusetts. People literally drive from hours around to go there, and they don't distribute.
They do not, sadly.
You go to them. They couldn't. You know what? Here's a simple fact: they couldn't distribute. They couldn't. I've been in that facility, and they have pallets upon pallets upon pallets of their beers, and they still would not be able to meet demand.
They really wouldn't. They have lines all the time.
Oh yeah. Last time I was there, I made the mistake of going on a football Sunday when the Patriots were off.
Oh,
there
dear.
Was over 200 in Massachusetts. There was over 200 people in the just to go line.
Wow.
It was so bad that when we were halfway through the line, there was a person from Treehouse moving up and down the line, and their system was not bad. Their system was very well done. But there's a person moving up down the line with a little handheld card reader who, if you wanted a beer while you were waiting, they would order you a beer and someone would bring it from the bar. That's how busy it gets. When you get to the front there, it's like a little menu list. They give you this little piece of paper when you get inside the door. This is all the people outside the door. And you take a golf pencil and mark off how many cans, because they were selling by the can at that point. I don't know if they still are. But you'd mark off how many cans of each type you want. You handed this piece of paper to a person. He immediately turned it around, typed it into an iPad, and then looked at you with a total. By the time you swiped your card and he gave you your receipt, there was a person with your beer there.
Wow.
We bought a case of it. We just bought a case. We got to get 2 or 3 cans of this, 2 or 3 cans of this, blah, blah, blah. Literally, another person just came out of the back with our case, looked at the guy and said, number 52, and our guy went, yup, and he handed them the case and he handed it to us. From the time we actually said hello to an employee and the time we were out of there was under 2 minutes. So it's not an inefficient system.
That's crazy.
It is just that popular. So, all right, so tell me about this beer. You've had time to taste it while I've been rambling. Tell me what you think.
So this is really, really smooth. It's slightly juicy and kind of has a malt aftertaste.
Interesting.
Going by the can, because they use really small print.
Oh, yeah.
This says, brewed with a new-to-us base malt and paired with El Dorado and Citra hops. Curiosity 102's taste is brimming with potential and originality. The path ahead is uncertain, but we're excited to be along for the ride.
Nice.
Very
good. Nice. Excellent. I am not drinking tonight. I am dealing with some of my anxiety today, which I've been open about in the past. And there are days where my anxiety is just like, dude, go home and have a beer and just relax. And there are days where my anxiety is like, dude, have a beer. Everything will be fine. You'll see. It's one of those second kind of days. My mind is very agitated today. Alcohol is only going to make me have weird ass dreams and not sleep well. So I'm foregoing the beer tonight. So Craig will have to drink for the two of us, which I'm sure is not a problem for him. So,
nah.
all right. burning hot takes. There is so much going on that I'm not even going to ask him if he wants to give or receive. I'm taking full control of this,
Okay.
and I am going to give tonight.
Okay.
Because there are a couple things that we need to discuss just right off the bat. First and foremost, today is June 9th, 2021. That's our recording date. And Loki has finally debuted on Disney+.
It has.
Question 1, have you watched it yet?
I have not.
Okay, so me neither.
Okay.
I have actively avoided most of my normal social media today because I don't want to have any sort of spoilers or anything like that. So I've been avoiding all forms of normal media. So then my question to you, you watched WandaVision, right?
Yes.
You watched Falcon and Winter Soldier, right?
Not done with it, but yeah.
You're not done with it
No,
yet?
I'm bad. I got really into Bad Batch. That took up my time.
I haven't started Bad Batch. See, that's where it is. I'm caught up on Castlevania. I haven't even started Bad Batch yet. Oh, yeah, you got it. Oh, Castlevania was epic.
That was a good show.
That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, that's
it really was. And there's going to be Netflix has confirmed there will not be a 5th season of Castlevania, but they are in discussions with the show creator to do a spin-off in the Castlevania universe. So
interesting.
Yeah, and there's so many chances, so many places for them to go right now. I don't want to say anything more than that, but when you get to the end of it, you're gonna be like, okay, I see 4, maybe 5 spinoffs.
Really?
Well, it's not. There's not a lot of loose ends. There's just in the end of any good story, particularly even a story about like vampires. There's somebody walks away from the fight, right? I mean, at the end of it, there's always a couple of people. You know, I mean, did you watch Game of Thrones? Were you a Game of Thrones guy?
I watched it.
Okay.
I watched
Do you remember the end of the series? The end of the series, Bran is the new king.
Mm-hmm.
The oldest daughter, whose name I can't remember, is the Queen of the North.
And then Sansa, right?
Sansa, yeah. And then the assassin daughter, whose name I'm blanking on too, she's on a boat going across the sea to find her fortune. There's all these different paths, right? You could do a series about how any of them go about their lives from that point on. I felt that way at Castlevania. I felt that way that at the end of it was like, okay, those characters could take us somewhere. Oh, that character's going to go that way. Okay, that might be interesting. Oh, maybe we'll get something about that character. There was a lot of places it could go. But anyway, I'm getting way off my topic. WandaVision, then we had Falcon and Winter Soldier, now we have Loki, right?
Right.
With sight unseen, just based on the hype and just based on the trailers, where does Loki fit in? If you had to order the 3, based on the information you have now, how do you order them?
Like in timeline?
No, in terms of preference. So did you like WandaVision better, or did you like Falcon and the Winter Soldier better?
See, I don't know if I can answer that because I'm not done with Falcon. Because
it's only on the information you have now.
I'm gonna go with WandaVision for right now.
Was the better?
Right, as of right now. So
does Loki based on just the trailers and the hype? Is Loki going to be better than what you know about Falcon and Winter Soldier? Gut feeling.
Yes.
Okay. Is it going to be better than WandaVision?
Unsure.
Okay, I'm going to say I think you have the right order. I think it's going to be number 2. I think I have the same order. I loved Falcon and Winter Soldier, but I think Loki is going to be. I just got a feeling that it's going to be a bigger series than people are expecting from it. And there's a lot of hype around it. It's not like it's underhyped. I just think it's going to be even bigger than people expect. So I am watching it tomorrow.
Oh, good.
I am setting aside time in my schedule, and I'm going to watch it tomorrow.
As you should.
I was going to watch it tonight, and then I just got sidetracked with other stuff. So it'll be tomorrow. All right, question to you. What do you got for me?
So for me, we've heard about, and, we'll probably touch on it. We've heard about Julio Jones leaving. There's the Aaron Rodgers saga. You mentioned those before. But there is someone, a big name player, who may or may not start the beginning of the season because he is unsure how what his body is going to tell him to do.
You leave Blake Bortles alone.
And that man's name is Saquon Barkley.
So
they asked him when his, the timetable for his return is, and he said he's taking it one day at a time, and it's going to be whenever my body tells me I'm ready.
Oh my God, that is such sports talk for I have no idea what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready to go? Taking it one day at a time. Translation, I have no idea. I'm going to listen to my body. Translation, I have no idea if I'm going to play in anytime soon.
So are the Giants screwed again?
Yes. I said that, what's his name? I'm drawing a blank. Who's that guy?
The
freaking Giants
Devonta
quarterback.
Smith. Oh, the quarterback, Daniel Jones.
I keep wanting to say Dave Brown.
Wow.
And that's like 30 years old. That's a 30-year-old reference when David Brown was there. Daniel Jones. I predicted a big step forward for Daniel Jones last year, and it didn't come. And I think half the reason it didn't come is Saquon Barkley got hurt. Now, the Giants went out and they brought in a lot of what they think are good pieces, right? They went out and they got, hold on, I'm going to go and look at their depth chart on the fly here. They brought in a bunch of old wideouts, didn't they? Yeah, they brought in Kenny Galladay. Great. Mm-hmm. They brought in John Ross.
Yep. Hopefully he stays healthy.
Dante Pettis is there, and that's to add to Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton. You still got Evan Ingram there. You have targets. You had targets before. I think Slayton, Shepard, and Ingram were a decent trio before. Now you're bringing Kenny Galladay. And can I just be brutally honest for a second? Sure. Everybody's like, oh my God, Kenny Galladay is... I heard a New York station call it the Giants' prize free agent. Really? Is that like the best smelling piece of crap on the sidewalk is the prize piece of crap? I mean, Kenny Galladay is not game breaking. It's not like Julio going to Tennessee. So if Barkley does not start the season, they're in trouble. Now here's the other part of it. The other part of it you have to consider they still play in the NFC East. And
so 6 games might be a championship. people
are laying money that Washington is going to get a game or two better this year, and they're going to dominate the division because the division hasn't gotten any better.
That's very possible.
And that is possible. That is possible. Ron Rivera is not a slouch. Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to be under center. We all know what that means.
It's Fitzmagic time.
It means it's 1-3 start, and then either they bench him or they start talking about benching him, and the guy starts throwing for 4,000 yards a game. Every bloody freaking time. If you guarantee Ryan Fitzpatrick's money, Ryan Fitzpatrick ain't walking through the door. If you sit there and go, well, we're going to see what we have in Ryan Fitzpatrick, then the goddamn guy is going to go 31 for 35, 6 touchdowns, and 510 yards.
Every week.
Seriously, I've never seen anybody who is more motivated by demotion than Ryan Fitzpatrick is.
He really is.
He went to the Jets. He was great as a Jet. They signed him to the big contract, and all of a sudden, coaching, but he was good when he got there. And if he's good when he gets there, the dude is motivated by his own failure or his own potential for failure. So the best thing you can do is constantly tell him you're thinking about benching him.
Which they might.
Which may or may not be true, but just do it. So anyway, yes, I do believe the Giants will be in trouble if Barkley doesn't start the year. Now, if Barkley's going to miss 1 or 2 games, I'm not worried about it. It also affects his ranking for things like fantasy, which is what we primarily talk about. So we'll talk about that in Bestball in a second. I think that hurts his rankings. I think that's a problem. What do you think? Are the Giants ineffective without Barkley?
After seeing what happened last year, yes. Because everyone says the NFL is a big-time passing league now. And I put this in our group before, but if you look at the Panthers, the Giants, the Titans, just as a few examples, those teams are run first. And then, other than the Titans, like the other team's receivers, if the other team's receivers gets hurt, that's kind of a big deal. But then you look at the Titans, and then it doesn't really matter who the receivers are. But those teams are still run first, and their whole offense is built around that.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like teams have a really hard, like there's no backup plan if their running back gets hurt. So
yeah,
I don't know. I don't think the Giants, if he's not there week one, I think they're in trouble.
Yeah, I agree. We'll talk about Julio in a second. My second question for you, and then we're going to touch on Julio, and then we're going to get to Bestball. So I found an article today on NFL.com. 9 NFL bandwagons to hop on in 2021. And I just want to go through these really quickly, and you tell me. We don't have to do a ton on each one of them. Just really quickly, are you on the bandwagon, and why not? And by the way, this is by Adam Shine. If you know New York sports, you know Adam Shine. So Adam Shine is the one who put this list together. So just really quickly, yes or no, and why yes or no.
Okay.
Are you on the bandwagon for the Tennessee Titans?
No.
Why?
Because even with Julio there, they still have Derrick Henry, and they are the same team. With him there, it does not matter who their receivers are.
Ryan Tannehill is still the quarterback.
And he's still the quarterback. And they're still going to give the ball to Henry.
He's been great since he's been there.
He's been better since he's been there.
Better. He's still Ryan Tannehill. So no, I'm not on the bandwagon either. Joe Burrow, bandwagon, yes or no?
Yeah, duh.
Why?
Because he's the savior of Cincinnati. No, but I've been watching him at practice since he's had his knee injury. Other than seeing the brace on his knee, it doesn't look like he's missed a step at all.
The Jesus of Joe Burrow is, it's hard not to be on that bandwagon. If Mixon stays healthy and T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd continue to have that chemistry. Oh, and by the way, Jamar Chase, I think it's hard to not be on that bandwagon. So Brandon Staley, the new head coach of the LA Chargers, bandwagon or not?
Nah, no.
Why?
Because other than their quarterback, I think the Chargers have a lot of issues, and I don't know how long he's going to be there before they're like, meh. We're gonna
they just brought him in.
Yeah, I know, but you figure a coach has what, 3 years?
2 or 3, yeah.
So,
but he's walking through the door with Justin Herbert, and a lot of coaches walk through the door and they don't have a quarterback this guy likes Herbert and he wants to stick with Herbert. The other part of it, you got to remember the other side of the ball in LA for the Chargers is not a slouch. And that's what Adam Shine writes about. Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey. Oh, and there's the other guy. What's his name? Oh, that's right. Joey freaking Bosa. The problem with Joey Bosa is that you have to recharge him. He's like a flip phone from the 90s. I mean, I remember that first game against the Chiefs. The Chiefs were dominated by the Chargers the first half, and then all of a sudden, Joey Bosa looked like he needed a nap.
Maybe they need to rotate him more.
He blitzed and rushed like a madman every play of the first half.
I mean, that is tiring.
Oh God, there's no question. I was like, there's no way this man can keep it up. There's no. I think he hit Mahomes 3 or 4 times in the first half, like just made contact with him, not necessarily sacks or tackles, but he rushed him on almost every play. Mahomes had very little time in the pocket. And then finally, at the end of the second quarter, Reed was like, screw this crap. Listen, snap the ball, take 2 steps in the pocket, and then take off. We'll teach them to flood the backfield. And that's what they were doing. They were rushing the edge. They were trying to clog the middle so they couldn't run and just force Mahomes to stand in the pocket and throw. So Mahomes drops back, goes 1, 2, and then tucks the ball and starts running like a madman through whatever hole he can find. And all of a sudden, he's running 20 yards downfield. He had something like 112 yards rushing that game. And then all of a sudden they had to pull him back, but then Bosa ran out of gas, and the Chiefs went on to roll because they're the Chiefs. That team could be better. So I'm going to say yes, I'm on that bandwagon. Next one.
Okay.
CD Lamb.
Am I on the bandwagon for CeeDee Lamb?
Yes.
I mean, it is the Cowboys. And again, here's the thing. My question is Elliott and Dak, are Dak and Elliott going to stay healthy long enough for CeeDee Lamb to get the ball?
I think Dak will. I think Dak will. I'm not worried about Dak. I think I am. I'm getting my popcorn ready. I'm stealing the Terrell Owens line, which Adam Shine also does. Make sure giving credit to the places where I'm seeing it. I'm getting my popcorn ready. I think this is the breakout year for CeeDee Lamb, and he was no slouch last year. I think he's a breakout this year. Chase Young in Washington, Rookie of the Year defensively last year. Are you on the bandwagon?
Especially in that division, yes.
I got to see another year. I got to see, if I'm going just on what I know, kind of like I was saying with like Loki, just based on trailers, that's where I feel like I'm at here. Mm-hmm. I'm basing it just on a very small sample size. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm on board. I got to see him do it 2 years in a row. He does it 2 years in a row, I'll buy a freaking jersey. I mean, I think the guy is going to be, I think he has the potential to be special, but I'm not quite there yet. I've got a reserved sign on that bandwagon. What's that?
No, that's a fair assessment.
Oh, okay.
I agree.
The Arizona Cardinals, on the bandwagon or not?
Is Larry Fitz coming back next season?
I don't know. Is he? Didn't he announce his retirement?
If he is, then yes.
I don't think I'm worried about Larry Fitzgerald for the first time ever.
No.
I just don't. I think everything I'm seeing here says he's still going to play. He's 37. My God bless him. I think this team was a Kyler Murray health issue away from being a playoff team last year. So, and people forgot because it happened so early in the free season, but J.J. Watt's there now. Their defense got significantly better.
Well, actually, here you go, really quick.
Sure.
I have their home opponents, and you just tell me win or loss.
All right, this is home opponents. Go.
in order. So Vikings.
Yeah. Win.
49ers.
Win.
Houston.
Oh my God! Can I give them 2 wins?
No, just one.
All right, 1. All right.
Packers.
I'm gonna say loss.
Panthers.
Win.
Chargers.
Win.
Colts.
Win.
And Seahawks.
Loss. So I got 6-2?
6-2 at home.
6-2 at home. You go 500 on the road and you're 9-7.
Yeah.
No, you're not. What the hell am I doing? That's 4. 10-6.
There you go.
Told you I wasn't feeling well. 10-6. Now the real question is 10-6 going to get you into the playoffs in that division that's really talented?
That's a good question.
10-6 might not make the playoffs in the NFC West. 10-6, and you can rest players for 2 weeks in the NFC East. In the NFC West, you might be playing for that 10th win just to get in.
That is very, very true.
It's possible. So, all right, 1 or 2 more. Miami Dolphins on the bandwagon, yes or no?
No, I don't know. I just feel like the Dolphins are unorganized.
I just want to point out one thing, because I'm not on the bandwagon either.
Mm-hmm.
That team won 10 games last year.
I know. Crazy, right?
How?
How? They didn't have to play the Bills that much? I don't know.
I guess.
That division is the Bills' division to lose. So
yes, it is. It is. The AFC East is the exact same thing it's been every year for the last 20 years. There is one good team, and everyone else is chasing it. The only thing that's changed is that team is no longer called the New England Patriots. It's now called the Buffalo Bills. Hell, go back 30 years, because before there was the Patriots, there was the Buffalo Bills again.
That's true. God, that's really true.
Go back to the Jim Kelly 90s. That has been a one-team division for a very, very long time. And sorry, Jets fans, it has never been the Jets.
Not
the
since
Jets have never been.
not since pre-NFL.
Not since before I was born.
AFL.
So,
and that one year that Marino was a rookie and they went to the Super Bowl. But
yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. And so with small gaps, you can make an argument that it's been a one-team division back into the 70s.
Yes.
Anyway, all right. Cam Akers, bandwagon, yes or no?
Really, Cam Akers?
Cam Akers.
Really?
He says it's time to get on the bandwagon.
No.
I agree.
No. Why?
I agree. He thinks that this could be Cam Akers' breakout year. He says he's not. He doesn't know, but he's thinking could be a legit top 10 running back. I disagree. So we'll see. Last one.
Okay.
Dan Campbell, the new head coach of the Detroit Lions. Are you on the bandwagon or not?
I am, only because how out there he is for a coach.
Yes.
So yes.
Yes. And his quarterback is looking for righteous vengeance against everyone who has wronged him.
That's true.
I mean, he's going to come out with a Guy Fawkes mask on. He's going to be so looking for vendettas. I mean, it's just. I hope they do well. I mean,
I do too.
Sewell was a good draft pick. I loved that. That's going to help DeAndre Swift and Jared Goff. I love it both. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, definitely.
Let's move on because I've already taken up half the episode with our other stuff. All right. So really quick, we got to touch base on Julio. Julio Jones goes to Tennessee. My only statement on this is if a great receiver goes to a team and no one can throw him the ball, does he make a sound? Because I'm not convinced that Tannehill is going to be able to do this.
Tannehill's net is not Matt Ryan. So,
I think Matt Ryan's a better quarterback than Ryan Tannehill.
For passing, yes.
I think
Ryan.
So,
I think Tannehill's more of a game manager. Really.
Yeah.
Which I agree. That's some teams need that, and that's how the Titans built their team, which is fine. But I don't think Julio is going to have 1,800 yards in Tennessee. So
I agree. I personally don't see it. I just don't see it. That's just me. So is it an upgrade? Yes.
Yes.
Bringing in good players are upgrades. But one guy on Twitter was like, I want you to look at the stats. When they brought Jerry Rice to Oakland, look at the pass attempts go up. When they brought Randy Moss to New England, look at the pass attempts go up. When they brought in Stephon Diggs to Buffalo, look at the pass attempts go up. Okay. Stephon Diggs went to a place with a new quarterback that needed a target. And the other two teams were headed by Rich Gannon, who played in the Super Bowl, and Tom Brady, who played in several Super Bowls. And if it weren't for Tom Brady, Rich Gannon would have been in at least 2 Super Bowls. Because never forget, that was the Blizzard game, the AFC Championship between New England and Oakland.
I remember that game.
I remember that game all too well because my brother was at it and I was convinced he was going to die driving back from Foxborough. Convinced of it. I was like, God, I hope he just got a hotel and stayed somewhere in Massachusetts.
That's what I would have done.
I was at his house because they had just moved into a new condo and they got 2 small cats. And they're kittens, and they were not comfortable leaving the cats unattended. So they're like, "Would you?" And I lived a mile away at the time. They were like, would you mind just watching the game at our house and maybe crashing on our couch?" And I was like, "Absolutely, I'll do that." So at 4 a.m., I'm asleep on my brother's couch, and the door opens, and my brother and his new wife, they've been married less than a year, stumble through looking like they've been through war. They are cold, they are snow-covered, and they look miserable. And I just went, go get yourself some showers and go to bed. I'll talk to you in the morning. And just rolled over on the couch. And that was it. So I'll never forget that game. So again, look at all these passes. Great. Ryan Tannehill is not Rich Gannon, Russell Wilson, or Tom Brady.
And none of those teams had Derrick Henry. None.
That's right.
So
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I mean, never mind. I said Russell Wilson. I meant Josh Allen. He also used the comparison, somebody getting to Seattle, but I can't remember what comparison he made. It wasn't Metcalf. I forget. He made some sort of comparison. But yes, when you bring a receiver in, and that was the best response to this guy's Twitter thread, because all the Tennessee people were eating it up. But the best response was, show me that pass catches increased on a better percentage. So they threw the ball. They threw the ball more, I should say. I almost said bore mall. They threw the ball more. Did they catch the ball more? And the guy never responded to that comment.
Oh, I guess he looked up the stats and was like, well, let's ignore that.
Jerry Rice goes to Oakland, and Rich Gannon throws the ball a dozen more times or 200 more times, whatever it is across the season, but it only relates to like a 30% catch rate that it doesn't really matter. And the other thing, that comparison drove me nuts. Jerry Rice went to Oakland. They make it sound like there was no one there to catch the ball. Freaking Tim Brown was there.
Yes, Tim Brown.
The problem was Tim Brown was all they had.
Mm-hmm.
Like every play was throw the ball to Tim Brown.
Yeah.
And so they brought in Jerry Rice so that they would have somewhere else to just get the
another
ball
option.
to. Another option. And they went to the goddamn AFC Championship.
Yeah, because you can't double team both of them. So
Exactly. So, all right, really quick. I want to spend a few minutes on best ball because best ball season is upon us. I have yet to do a single draft.
I have not either. With best ball.
I am going to do one this week, so maybe we could do a little bit more on this next week as well. But yeah, we should. Ooh, Fantasy Pros has their mock draft lobby open already.
Oh,
is it? Oh no, it's not. They have the link up. The link just says join a public mock draft this preseason. It's coming soon. Thanks. Thanks for that tease, you jerks. Okay, best ball. Before we even get into general people we like or dislike and all that kind of fun stuff, because neither of us have done any. What's your strategy? What are you thinking going into the average best ball draft this year? Thinking general standard lineups, 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wideouts, maybe a flex or 2, et cetera, 10 to 12 teams. What's your kind of strategy this year? Are you just are you drafting younger? Are you drafting older? Are you going positional? What do you think?
I think I'm still going position, and I think because of how best ball is and going by experience with injuries, because reminder, best ball, there's no pickups. There's no trades.
No ads, no drops.
Your
nothing.
roster is it. So, yeah. I think I might actually go like 3 running backs first.
Wow. If you remember back in the day, there was a infomercial. My brother used to love infomercials. My brother used to be able to quote
amusing. Him and I both enjoyed them.
The magic bullet one, where it was like a family got snowed in, and so they had to make an entire breakfast just using their magic bullet, and you could make like omelets and pancakes and all this crazy shit with it. He loved that. He thought that was the funniest show ever. But there was always one for like this oven, and the big slogan they tried to get you to say was, "You set it and forget it." And like they had a whole audience chanting this. You want to cook a chicken? You shove a chicken in. You set it and forget it. Best ball is that oven. You set it, you draft, and you forget the team even exists until the last week of the season when you're like, I wonder how my team's done. Because you can't add and drop anybody. There is no lineups to set. You literally draft and then just wait to see what happens, which can be both frustrating and oddly satisfying because if you're sure there's that one guy, you're sure in the pit of your stomach that somebody's going to emerge, then you're good. Last year, you know who that guy was for me? And like a couple of my best balls was Tony Pollard.
Wow.
Because remember
Yep.
Zeke had COVID, and everybody was like, well, we don't know how much Zeke is going to play. And then I picked up Tony Pollard like halfway through 2 or 3 drafts, and all of a sudden Zeke hobbles off the field, and I'm like, I'm good. I'm all set.
Yep.
Thanks. That's how best ball works. So you're thinking you want to go deep on running back. Okay, well, I'll tell you right now, I'm looking at Fantasy Pros best ball rankings available publicly right now. They only have 12 experts on here right now. Why don't they have 8 selected? Oh, because I turned off some of the ones I can't stand.
Oh.
Well, to be fair, let's turn them all on.
Players you can't stand or analysts?
Analysts.
Oh.
Analysts. So if you've never used the Fantasy Pro sites, one of the things I like about Fantasy Pros is they pay a lot of folks for their rankings. Every week you can go in there and get a lot of posts, a lot of stuff from a lot of different sources. But let's say you don't, and I'm going to toss this name out because it's the first name on the list. You don't trust Dan Harris First off, if you don't trust Dan Harris, you got a problem. Dan Harris is a legend, and Dan Harris can buy and sell any of our teams anytime he wants. I can go in there and say, exclude Dan Harris's rankings from the list. I don't have to listen to. So you can do that. I'm looking at a bunch of them, and they'll have more as the year goes on. But okay, so let's do this. Let's show me everybody. All right, the top 6, 7, 8, the top 8 players on the board, consensus-wise, are all running backs. So your idea of grabbing running backs early and often is gonna be popular. So let's just say you have the number 1 overall pick, and it's a 10-player best ball. Let's also assume these rankings hold accurately. At 1, you're gonna get Christian McCaffrey. Okay, Christian McCaffrey or Dalvin Cook, Saquon Barkley, one of them's going to be there, and it's going to be Snake, right? So you're going to be looking at pick 20. By that time, according to these rankings, you're already down to running back 13, and you're drafting Antonio Gibson.
Wow, really? Who's after Antonio Gibson?
After him in the running back ranks?
Yeah.
J.K. Dobbins.
Wow, really?
That is how heavy the top 20 is in running backs. There are 13 running backs in the top 20 for best ball rankings right now. Everyone is going to be looking running back. So my strategy is running backs if I can. There's always a position in best ball where I try to reach. Based on what's available. If I get great wideouts up available, I will take the great wideouts, and then I got to reach for the running backs. Later, I got to look at running backs that have high upside but may not produce right away, and J.K. Dobbins is a great example of that. Okay. He's a great name for that one. Well, at least he was last year. I don't know about this year. All right, so anyway, I do kind of do positional too, but I use best available. So I might take a running back first, and then the second time I come around, the best people on the board may be Stephon Diggs and Cam Akers. I'm probably taking Diggs. And then I'm going to have to reach somewhere else. So yeah, I do enjoy best ball. I highly recommend you guys look at it. Yahoo's doing it. I believe DraftKings is doing it this year, or FanDuel. Whoever bought out Draft.com is definitely going to be offering them this year.
That was FanDuel.
FanDuel. I think they're probably going to be doing that. So let's talk about some of the names here. Like, let's talk about the top 5. The top 5 are all running backs.
Okay.
And this is again early season according to Fantasy Pros. You tell me which one you're taking.
Okay.
Maybe give me like the top 2 or 3.
All right.
So in order, they're Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, and Alvin Kamara.
Wow.
Who's your first choice? Let's say you're drafting second. Who's your first choice, and who's the guy you take if your first choice goes off the board before you?
So my first choice would be Derrick Henry.
Okay.
And if he's not there, I would either go McCaffrey or Kamara.
Okay. Ooh. The mock draft simulator is already up.
Oh.
Ooh, I like that. I'm almost tempted to run one like right now on the fly, and just to kind of see. Well, it's not going to take best ball ranks into account,
sad.
Is it? Let me see if it'll do. If this will do a scoring, if this will do best ball, no, it doesn't. It just does regular. Okay, so because best ball is going to be slightly different. It's going to be slightly different things going on. Okay, I'm sorry. So you said who was your first? Was
Henry,
and your second was
McCaffrey or Kamara.
I mean, you've been a big Alvin Kamara guy,
so I'll say Kamara.
That shouldn't shock me. So go ahead. I would say Kamara. I love Christian McCaffrey. The problem is that dude just takes a beating all the time.
He's out there a lot, and he got hurt last year or year before. Times are relevant in my head. But yeah.
Dalvin Cook is fantastic. He's always one cut away from missing the rest of the year.
Exactly.
And that's what I always worry about. Saquon Barkley. So, I mean, again, of these top 4, Derrick Henry's the most durable, easily.
Mm-hmm.
Alvin Kamara there at 5. Okay, so I can see that. I'll take whoever I can get. I'll take any of those 5, but I think Derrick Henry would be the top of my list too. I want to cut down to the wide receiver ranks because the wide receiver 1 is the 9th overall player, and I'm a little bit kind of like, I don't know about this. And that's Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill, wide receiver 1? Thoughts?
I mean, he's definitely up there. I just feel like Tyreek Hill, I don't know, he's not going to get 180 yards every game. He's going to have games where he gets like 200 yards, and then I feel like there's other games where he's going to get like 12.
See, for me, it comes down to separation. So there's a lot of separation in the running backs. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Even in that top 5, there are people you can put into an order. I see it, and I'm looking at their breakdown by tier. Their top tier of wide receivers are Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs. As much as a Chiefs fan as I am, is Stephon Diggs really that far behind Tyreek Hill that I wouldn't rather take a running back and settle for Diggs the next round?
Not really. And then would you take Devontae Adams if Aaron Rodgers isn't going to play?
No, he plummets down this list if Rodgers doesn't play.
And then because then there's DeAndre Hopkins.
That's
he's
what I was just going to bring up.
There.
He is the number 4 guy on the list. He is the top of tier 2. So then you got to ask yourself, how much separation is there between Tyreek Hill and DeAndre Hopkins or DK Metcalf? What about Justin Jefferson? Justin Jefferson, that's a stretch. After DK Metcalf, that's where I think you fall off your cliffs. It's their list is Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs. Then tier 2 with DeAndre Hopkins. Okay, to me that's the same tier. I just have a wider tier 1. AJ Brown, I'm not sold on that. I would not have him in tier 2. Then DK Metcalf. After that, it drops off a cliff because the next names are Calvin Ridley, Justin Jefferson, and Michael Thomas.
Really? See, I just looked at our rankings and they had Allen Robinson as 4.
These guys have him at 11 between Julio and Keenan Allen. Yeah, I just can't. So to me, tier 1 is 5 guys. It's Hill, Adams, Diggs, Hopkins, and Metcalf. That's how I see it. So I would rather pass on Tyreek Hill in round 1 and take a decent running back. So let me go back to that list really quick. If I pass on Tyreek Hill, presuming rankings hold, the next best running back is Aaron Jones. Would you rather have Aaron Jones and DK Metcalf or Tyreek Hill and Antonio Gibson?
I'm going to take option 1.
Yeah. Yes, because I don't think there's that much separation, but there's separation. Don't get me wrong. Hill is a better choice than Metcalf in fantasy. Don't misunderstand me.
It's just not that big of a gap.
Exactly. It's like deciding, well, you can only have one Tyreek Hill or Devontae Adams. If I put that on Twitter right now, I think it would probably be a 60% to 40% split. Most people would want Tyreek Hill, but it's not going to be such a huge gap that people are going to sit there and go, okay, why are we even having this conversation? Meanwhile, if I put out there on the internet, who would you rather have, Nick Chubb or Antonio Gibson? I think that's a much larger margin.
That's going to be like 80-20 at least.
Yes. That's not going to be close. That is not going to be close. So I think that's interesting. Here's one thing I'll tell you this. In Bestball, one of my best tips to give you, wait on tight end.
Oh, God,
yes. 3 of them.
And yes, because they all break. So you definitely need more than 1.
Kelsey, Kittle, Waller, Andrews are all going to go in the first 5 or 6 rounds. You don't need one of them because you're going to be able to pick up Noah Fant, Kyle Pitts, or Mike Gesicki 4 rounds later, and you might be able to get all 3 of them in back-to-back rounds.
Exactly.
And you draft 3 because you know what happens to tight ends all the time? They miss time.
Yeah, all the time.
Travis Kelce, I don't think missed any time this year. Okay? I'm going down the list. George Kittle misses time. He's missed a game now. The season hasn't even started yet, and he's already missed a game. Darren Waller gets beat up all the time. Mark Andrews missed time this last year. TJ Hawkinson missed time at the end of the year. Dallas Goedert, who is somehow on this list, missed time. Noah Fant got hurt. Kyle Pitts is a rookie, right? So we can't count him. Robert Tonyan, I don't know if Tonyan missed time last year. Logan Thomas missed time. Gesicki missed time. Jonnu Smith. Irv Smith Jr., Evan Ingram, Hunter Henry, Rob Gronkowski. Holy crap. Like,
It's the
12
Walking
of the
Dead.
top 16 are the Walking Dead. 3/4 of the top 16 tight ends, according to Fantasy Pros Bestball, are Walking Dead. Do I need to go further than that? Tyler Higbee, missed time. Austin Hooper, missed time. Blake Jarwin, didn't he have a season-ending injury? That was
I
bad.
think somebody
Zach Ertz.
did.
Zach Ertz, missed time. Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet played 2 games and then missed so much time, I forgot he was still a Bear. You know what? He might not have missed time. He might have just been bad.
I mean, maybe.
I remember. Yeah, so hold on. I'm looking. No, all right. I take it back. Cole Kmet was healthy for. Well, was he? He wasn't. I see. It doesn't tell me. Okay, it looks like he just wasn't. Oh, okay. He missed one game. He missed Week 9 at Tennessee. That was it. He appeared in every other game. He was just bad most of the time. I used him in the 1 week he was good. He was a flex option for me in one of my DFS, and I was like, oh, Cole Kmet's the man, and then he never did anything again. But yeah, I'm looking at this list. It's just like everyone here is either hurt or has been hurt or will be hurt in the next 12 months. So yes, do some best ball. Go find some freebie best balls. I usually like to do a couple of mocks before, but it's a great way to warm up and to start recognizing names. Even working a podcast like we do part-time, even with this, the amount of time and effort that Craig and I put into this, there are names that I'm just not going to know until I see somebody else talking about them. That's just the nature of fantasy football. There's always people out there with different information sets. So I'll be sitting here and doing a best ball like 6 months from now or a month from now, and all of a sudden I see I'm going to pick a random name off this list that I don't recognize. Chuba Hubbard.
Cool.
Exactly. Who the hell is Chuba Hubbard? He is it looks like a rookie. Yep, he is a rookie for Carolina. He is way, way down on the list. He is ADP like 166.
All right.
Do I need to know who that is? Yeah, I probably should. Particularly if I'm sitting here talking about Christian McCaffrey. How deep on the depth chart for Carolina is he? I don't know. But best ball is a great way to get over that. Best ball is a way to expand. And he's the number 2. He is the number 2 on the depth chart behind Christian McCaffrey. If we're worried about Christian McCaffrey, then Chuba Hubbard might be the handcuff.
That is true. Handcuffs are very important in best ball.
Yeah. particularly if you play with guys who have an injury history.
So really quick, because I know
we got time. Go for it.
Out of time. So
it's okay.
You're in best ball, and I'm going to say hypothetically it's the 4th round.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm going to give you 4 receivers' names and tell me who you would go for. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So number 1, Antonio Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, Cole Beasley.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, Will Fuller, the 5th.
Mm-hmm.
And and lastly, Brandon Cooks.
Okay, so
you're sitting there, it's round 4, and you're like, I need a receiver, and those are like the top 4 on the list.
I'm probably addressing a different position, but if you're saying I've got to, if you're holding my feet to the fire, if it's round 4, I'm probably drafting quarterback with that list. If you're holding my feet to the fire, none of them are good options. So in best ball, if you don't have a good option, you go for the highest upside. So who has the highest upside there? Cole Beasley? Absolutely not. If the dude doesn't say something racist, he's a quad injury waiting to happen. Antonio Brown has a lot of potential upside. He's just not reliable. We don't know what's going to happen there. Who are the other 2 on the list?
Will Fuller, the 5th, and Brandon Cooks.
Okay, Brandon Cooks has proven to me. I have been a big Brandon Cooks guy the last couple of years. He has proven to me he is not worthy of my love. So Brandon Cooks comes off the list. So then it becomes to who's got the bigger potential in 2021, Antonio Brown or Will Fuller? And for me, it's got to be Will Fuller. Not because I think Will Fuller is going to be better than Antonio Brown, but can you imagine if Will Fuller actually stayed healthy?
That would be awesome.
I'm just saying that if you're asking me if I got to take one of those two, I'm not excited about any of them. If you're telling me I got to take one of the two, best ball is all about getting stats where other people don't expect them to happen and putting together a roster because you can't do anything to manage it. So if you're asking me would I rather have Antonio Brown or Will Fuller, the answer is Will Fuller. And the other thing with best ball too, no lineup setting. One of the problems with Will Fuller is even if he's healthy, figuring out which games he's going to be good to start him. I don't have to do that in best ball. Best ball, I just set it and forget it. So the computer will start him for me automatically if he's decent. So that's where I go with it. I would probably go Will Fuller. Now, but you got to answer your own question. You got to have thoughts on this too. You hate all these guys too.
I do too. I was on the Will Fuller bandwagon last year. Didn't work. Well, it worked for a few weeks and then it stopped.
Yeah.
But if I was looking at that list, I would probably also go with Will Fuller. Because again, Cole Beasley's on the Bills. With Diggs there, nah. Brandon Cooks is in Houston. Sentence ends. And Antonio Brown, yeah, he's a good receiver. He was on the cover of Madden, but I don't know. There's still something. I just feel like at any given point, we're going to see a news article about Antonio Brown and how he's going to miss the season because of XYZ. Yeah. So I think Will Fuller is the safest bet out of those four.
I just want to remind a couple folks, folks of a couple things. Number one, Will Fuller's now in Miami.
Yes.
And that changes the equation. Number two, Will Fuller is now entering his 6th year, and he has never played more than 14 games in a season.
True.
Never. He only played 11 games last year, and he played 11 games last year. That's not terrible. Let me pull up his game log.
Wasn't it
from 2020?
Wasn't he suspended for first?
Did he have a suspend? Oh, he was suspended.
Yeah, he was suspended for the year before.
Last 5 games he missed a suspension.
Yes.
Yeah. That was performance enhancing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Here's the problem. I'm going to read down his yardage totals, and this is why he's a perfect best ball pick. Week 1, starting with week 1, 112 yards receiving. Yeah. Week 2, 0.
Oh.
Week 3, 54 yards. Week 4, 108.
Ooh.
58. 123.
Ooh.
35.
Oh.
100.
Yay.
I mean, the week before he got suspended, I'm just going to skip some weeks here. Week 11, he caught 6 balls for 171 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
The dude is good when he's healthy and on the field. And while that may not be great in normal fantasy football, in best ball, he is not a bad option. I had him on several best ball teams last year as a late round pickup. I think he'll go a little earlier this year because he's in Miami and things are probably a little different for him. But yes. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You have to look at best ball a little differently than your standard leagues because there is no ad drop. There is no trading. You're stuck with what you draft. And it's also the reason why last year, if you paid attention, you heard they drafted Benny Snell everywhere.
He did.
Benny Snell was the last pick in more than half of my best ball leagues because Connor was coming back off of injury. There was a rumor they were going to try and use Connor a little bit less. And I said to myself, if they use Connor less, they're going to use Benny Snell more. Was I right? No. No, I was wrong.
I mean, the theory was sound, though.
But that's the guy you got to look at it. I mean, that's the way you got to look at it. Don't forget, week 1 last year, I'm looking at the stats right now. Benny Snell had 113 yards rushing. He came out the door like he was going to be the next Jesus. And it didn't last. He had that one. He didn't have more than he had one more game at 84. He only had 3 games all year last season with more than 50 yards rushing. But here's the thing. Those are also the only 3 games where he got double-digit touches.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, he averaged 4.6, only 3.75 there. The fewer touches he gets, the lower. That's very interesting. I'm looking right now at his attempts and his yardage numbers. I could probably draw a pretty stable graph out of this. The more he touches the ball, the better his yards per attempt are. That's amazing. His best yards per attempt was in week 1 last year. He had 19 carries for 113 yards. That's a 5.95. I'm looking at several games where he was under 2 or 3 yards per carry, and they're all single-digit touches.
Really?
He's just one of those guys. If you feed him the ball, he gets better as the game goes on, it looks like. Interesting. I don't know. Anyway, but Craig is right. We are out of time. But yeah, so if you start thinking about best ball, start thinking that way. Who can I get at the right value marker, but also who am I reaching for? Because late in the draft, where am I going to look and find extra value that other people might miss? Where are the Will Fullers and the Benny Snells, the guys who might come out of nowhere and do something big? Those are the guys you're looking for in best ball drafts. Don't draft Benny Snell over DeAndre Swift.
No, don't do that. But if Benny Snell's there at the last 2 rounds, then yeah.
You might want to stock up on him if you don't have a handcuff. So, all right, final thoughts. Craig, what do you got for me this week?
Final thoughts. I can't believe we're talking about best ball.
Yeah.
Now's the time to start paying attention again. I know we told you for the last couple weeks that we did a podcast. It's nothing big is happening, but now we're in June. Before you know it, it's going to be like mid-July. You're going to be like, dear God, I need to start looking at everything. So, just prep yourself.
Yeah. I mean, believe it or not, this is episode, 42? Mm-hmm. We're probably not going to get the full 50 this year because we've been trying to be a little bit more flexible with our recording schedule and not let the last couple of years, the season has just worn me down. So I've been trying not to let it do that to me this season so I can just continue to enjoy doing this because I do love doing this. But it's going to be time for us to pull together the roundtable. Believe it or not. I mean, it's today is June 9th. I'm thinking like a week or 2 from now, I'm going to have to send out the email and say, contributors, get me your rankings. It's time to start putting together some numbers.
Yep.
Because in July, we are going to kick off our 5th season at some point in July. We don't have an exact day for that yet. We have to sit down and have another production meeting and maybe not drink throughout this entire one. Maybe we actually sit and actually do some work this time. Maybe. But we're going to have to sit down and figure out when that's going to be and then bring about our roundtable. But if you think about it, by the second week of August, it's draft season. We're about 8 weeks, if not less, than from draft season. And
crazy talk.
It's time to start getting ready. And let me say, and my final thought will just be best ball is a great way to start getting ready.
That's true. You can start learning names and see what people are thinking of,
You take $10, you throw it into one of the sites that you like, and you do 10 $1 best balls, and you just start learning where people are looking.
Exactly.
It's not the same. It's not going to give you all the information, but all of a sudden, you start seeing names that go at the same time every draft. You start to think to yourself, maybe I look at this guy. What do other people know? It gives you an opportunity to start to learn. It's good practice. So, all right, we'll be back next week. Leave us a review wherever you listen to us. Apple, Stitcher, Player FM, Audible. Anywhere you listen to us, please leave us a review. We do appreciate it. If you'd like to give us some direct feedback, we are fignutsdfs@gmail.com, or we are on Twitter @fignutsdfs. And we're also on Facebook, the Football Fignuts Podcast. Please look us up there. We always like when folks touch base with us on Facebook as well. This is around the time of year where we start to get a lot of feedback, and we do appreciate it. We are still waiting. I'm checking my email now. We are still on the short list of people waiting for an invite to Scott Fishbowl. Fingers crossed that we make that cut again. But we hopefully that will happen for us in the next couple of days. In which case, we'll be happy to scream about that with you guys, and then we'll start talking about how we all can support Fantasy Cares when we get closer to that too. My God, we're going to get busy.
Yeah, it happens. It happens fast.
It does. It really, really does. I mean, one day you're sitting there playing Stardew Valley, and the next thing you do, you're doing rankings. So, but yes. So leave us a review. Reach out to us. We always appreciate you listening. We always appreciate the feedback, and just getting ready for the season. We're very excited to be bringing you our 5th season. I can't believe it's been almost 5 years we've been doing this. So maybe before the season starts, we'll do a retrospective episode where we can talk about the highs and lows of the first 4 seasons before we go into the 5th season. So we'll take a look at it. But we'll be back next week. Thank you so much again for listening to us. We really appreciate it. Until next week, my name is Britt.
I'm Craig.
And we are the Football Fignuts Podcast.
Hi, Deb.